Hi, welcome back to The Invisible. Thank you so much for the reception that you gave to the very first episode. That really touched my heart so much. So here is the second. If you are listening to this podcast for the first time, my name is Gabrielle and I work with the invisible, the thing that we cannot always see, explain, or understand, but yet we feel very deeply. It's the patterns, the inherited stories, the wisdom in the body, the subtle ways that life invites us back to ourselves. So today I want to talk about something that has been very present into my own life recently, and it's the part of me that are waiting for permission. But before I begin, I would love to invite you into a small practice. So as you listen today, notice where it resonates within your body. Notice where it creates space, what feels true. And sometimes our deepest knowings arrives long before the mind can understand that. And to support these talks, this conversation, this podcast, you can find in the show notes what I call the nurture practice, and it combines sounds, tapping, and reprogramming. So the link is in the show notes. It's free. Use it as much as you need, and it's designed to help you embody this wisdom, because the mind understands everything, but what we really need is for it to land within our soma, within our body. So the body needs to be part of this conversation. So this past few weeks, I think I've become way more conscious with the parts of me that were seeking for permission and authorization. And even though, I've been through years of healing, self-development, therapy, trainings, developing my own method, bodywork, spiritual work, there are moments in life where we are invited to do some deeper work and to really reach some deeper level of trust. And I think we are in constant evolution. And if there is just one constant, is that we are in constant evolution. And of course, when you are a teacher, you remain a student forever. So it's very important for me to keep on doing this, this self-development work. And it has become visible for me lately, and I can recognize it. This part of myself that looks for certainty, that looks for the answers outside, that looks to be validated. And it's a part of us, part of me that I had to develop because it's stronger. We need to belong. We need to be accepted. We need to be loved. It's really part as in the very early stage of our life. It's a survival mode. We need that to be alive. We totally depend. But then those parts, we outgrow those parts. And if we don't outgrow those parts, then they keep us very, very, very small. And they stay in the subconscious. So at some point it creates tension, friction, where this needs to be freed, and those parts needs to be expressed, and it's ready to emerge, no? But still, it's kind of like holding us back. There is this really strong part, this survival mode strong part that still is looking around the room, hoping for confirmation, looking for a sign, for reassurance, for certainty. And I think I've realized recently how often I'm searching for permission to trust myself, to choose myself, to take up space, to be visible, and to ask for what I need. And it's easier to blame others. It's something that, it's easier. And I think the key is to really sit with that and to really understand that, which part of myself I am abandoning there. What part of myself really need this permission? What is holding me back to really ask for what I need? And to really leave some space for all that. permission to honor what feels true at this moment, you know? And what really fascinates me recently is that it is so subtle. It is so subtle. We can just bypass it. It's way easier actually to bypass it. Yeah, it can look like, you know, like gathering information or being thoughtful or being careful. But underneath all that, it's a strong and a deep desire for safety, for feeling safe within our body. And when those emotions, when these feelings become too intense, it's easier to project everything outside. And again, it's those parts of our inner child, of our very old self that was looking for belonging, to be appreciated, to be chosen, to be included, to belong. Those are strategies that help us that helped us in the past to navigate life, you know. But as we keep outsourcing, we kind of like give our power and our authority away. And in the end, the invitation, therefore, is to become the source of your own authority, to become the source of your own validation, to trust the wisdom that is already within us. You know, so this energy that over-adapt, replay all the conversation in our head. If we use this energy for us to build our dream, to build our project, then we have so much more energy for creativity. You know, all this energy that we put into anticipating every possible scenario then becomes available for life. All this frustration where we could not choose ourselves then becomes available for joy, for creativity, for, you know, more space for what we really believe in. This energy that, oh my God, we spend to, you know, looks for certainty all the time, and this one I know quite well, then becomes available for self-expression. So I've noticed that recently in very ordinary situation where I got overwhelmed, where I felt way too many emotions, where I feel, so like, because I thought I was caring for someone, actually I was totally abandoning myself. And I don't think it's even right for the other person. It could be anything I want: work, money, relationship, visibility, you know. And yeah, if I pause long enough and I really question myself, what is beneath all that? What is true underneath all this noise, all these stories? What is true beneath this trigger? You know, where am I abandoning myself? Well, actually, the answer is already there. And the next step is already there. You know, life is speaking. You know, we need to learn to listen. And the truth is that what really wants to grow is trust. You know, trust that these experiences are showing us something deeper, something that we are ready to alchemize. And how we can show up with more trust, more coherence between what I already know, what I already feel within my body, and how I can align my choices that are actually in every step creating my life. So yeah, it feels very relevant at the moment, because I feel also with this summer solstice that was yesterday, June 21st, like it's a reclamation of our solar radiant power of being unapologetically who we are, being safe in claiming and reclaiming what we really want, you know, and being humble to be like, okay, what's holding me back? What's this feeling? What's this anger? What is this anger showing me where I'm letting myself down? No? So the solstice is the turning point, the meteor point, whether you follow astrology or not, but this moment invites us to reflect. Where has my energy been flowing during these last 6 months? Where am I nourishing myself? What I've been creating? What I've what I've been creating, what wants to receive more attention, where am I ready to reclaim my power, and perhaps the most important of all, what am I ready to receive information on? What do I already know? Because within us there is this deeper knowing, this part that remained connected constantly to our truth that is beneath the everyday life. And this voice just waits for us to be listened. And when we do, there is no need for searching all the time for certainty, for certain answers. And it's very subtle, it's very tiny step, but when we listen, and it's a muscle, the more we listen, the more we can hear. Then we can start relating to ourselves differently. We can start trusting ourselves differently. And we also begin leading ourselves differently. So this week I would like to offer you a very simple practice. Every time you catch yourself wondering, what is the next step? Each time you catch yourself wanting to know something certain. First of all, be compassionate with those spaces. Just take a breath and pause. Place your hands on your body, wherever, your heart, your belly, wherever it's needed. And ask yourself, what do I already know? What is my priority right here and right now? And let yourself be informed by your own soma, by your body. Just listen. Or what I love doing is just taking a blank paper and a pen, and I would just write down. What do I already know? But, that is lying underneath. What is the priority for me right here and right now? Just listen to the response. And most of the time it's very simple. Listen to the feeling, to the sensation, to the wisdom that is waiting for your attention. Because I have a feeling that many of us are much closer to our answer than we think. And I would like to, before we end this today, I would like to offer you one final reflection. And if there is a woman waiting for permission within you, what would happen if she trusted herself? What would she choose? What would she say yes to? What would she create? What would become possible? So I really hope that this resonates with you and that this brings you answers and consciousness, compassion and acceptation, because this is the first step to move differently. You will find the nurture practice in the show notes. It's very beautiful. It's also, let us not forget that those parts are hiding for a really good reason. They are hiding to protect us. So that's also why I create this integration practice, what I call the nurture practice, with sound and tapping and reprogramming, is because these are really, really deep layer. So it's really for your body to reconnect with that inner wisdom, with that intuition, to bridge really the knowing and embodiment. It's, to bridge everything together. Let me know in the comment, where are you at the moment? How is it going? What resonates? What doesn't resonate? If you feel to go deeper, you would also find the information in the show notes for the one-on-one work. Thank you so much for being here, for listening, for being willing to explore what lives beneath the surface. And this is the invisible. I will see you for the next episode, and for the next episode we will explore the part of us that already knows. the quiet wisdom, and how learning to trust can change everything. Again, thank you so much.